It's time for us, as a community, to come together to decide the future of the Chargers in San Diego.
Kevin Faulconer in his first State of the City address in January 2015. Keeping the city's football team by building them a new stadium was a top priority. Faulconer created a stadium task force and spent more than $2 million on an environmental impact report to clear the stadium for construction.
And so I want to thank the Spanos family, the entire Chargers organization, and the fans for your continued commitment to San Diego. Working together, we can get this done.
They didn't get it done. Chargers officials repeatedly rejected the city's suggestions. In 2016, the team placed a tax measure on the ballot to fund a new stadium downtown, and Faulconer endorsed it, but voters rejected it overwhelmingly.
I was one of those folks that never thought they were going to stay.
Gil Cabrera is an attorney who chaired the city's Ethics Commission and the board of the Convention Center Corporation. He says the time and money Faulconer spent on the stadium issue was a waste.
Give them the best offer they're going to get from us, and then give them a deadline and then move on, but we dragged it out for years.
Cabrera is among those who see Faulconer's tenure as marked by big plans that failed to pan out. Another example, the Convention Center expansion.
It's time to settle this once and for all and get the Convention Center expanded.
That was from Faulconer's 2016 State of the City address. The Convention Center expansion was always a top priority for him, but time after time his efforts to get it done came up short. Cabrera says he doesn't lay all the blame on Faulconer, but
I think there was a lot of delays that probably weren't necessary. I mean, we went through, I think, 2 or 3 State of the City addresses where we talked about we were going to do something and then nothing happened that year.
One achievement Faulconer touts most frequently is the city's 2015 Climate Action Plan, which requires the city to cut its greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2035. Nicole Capritz leads the nonprofit Climate Action Campaign and was one of the plan's main architects.
I think he enjoyed the accolades that came with passing the climate plan, but I don't think his heart was ever in the implementation of the climate plan.
Capritz says Faulconer was too slow in starting the transition to 100% renewable energy, and she says he hasn't been the biggest champion for reducing the city's dependence on cars.
He's mostly a go-along, get-along kind of guy, and if he can sidestep more challenging conversations, then he's likely to do that. Now, to his credit, when we sort of built the community and political will to take on some of the harder conversations around transit and around, community choice energy, he eventually did, but it's not his default.
Others give Faulconer more credit for his own coalition building. In his last few years as mayor, housing affordability took center stage. Mary Lydon is a land use consultant who led the coalition group Housing U Matters. She praises Faulconer for uniting business groups, builders, environmentalists, labor unions, and social service providers, all under a pro-growth agenda.
So he was the leader that did that. All kinds of policy has been put into place in the last couple of years, and we'll see in the next few years if those strategies actually are working.
Among those strategies, ending parking requirements for new apartment buildings near public transit, rezoning parts of the city for higher density housing, and adding new incentives for developers to include subsidized affordable homes in their projects. Lydon says none of that was easy.
San Diego has kind of a reputation for being a NIMBY city. It's beautiful here. We love our communities. We don't want it messed with. But there's other things at play. And housing became the issue that our leaders needed to focus on. And Mayor Faulconer stepped up to the plate on that.
As many have long suspected, Faulconer is considering a run for governor in 2022. As a Republican in blue California, the odds are stacked against him, and voters will look to his record as mayor for evidence he has what it takes to lead the state. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.